I want to get straight to the issue of the movies, really more than anything. Let's talk about what's happening, because you have Disney deciding effectively that they're going to start doing now. I think is this the second one, Pixar Soul, which is their film, the latest film to skip theaters and go straight to streaming, right to the Disney Plus in this case. Can they make the economics of this work?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be different from what you saw in Mulan. Mulan, they charged people $30 to get that on Disney Plus. This is coming out for free. Now, they didn't release numbers for Mulan, but naysayers say, look, because they're not talking about it, it obviously didn't do as well that it would have if it went to theaters. They were expected to bring in about $1 billion if it went to theaters. I think the key here for Disney is, how does this help us bring in new Disney Plus subscribers, Andrew? And I think that the question is going to be around the Christmas holiday time, a movie that's catered to families. Can this get people to sign up? I think that it's not going to be the full stop strategy for Disney moving forward. You know, they take up about 40% of the box office, but you're going to see them try to experiment a little bit more with releasing something straight to Disney Plus.
Ed, you look at an effort like this, though. How many new subscribers do they have to get to make the math work on a film like that?
So, I mean, I think on an individual film-to-film basis, you know, it's hard to do the math ultimately, right? I think they're looking at long-tail revenue. That's how streaming economics works, right? So in month 1, month 2, month 3, I may not make it fully back, but 6 months out, 12 months out, it's worth the money, and then I'm profiting pretty well. I think Sarah's right in terms of the Mulan figures, and the fact that they didn't give us any information tells us, at least within the first few weeks, within the first few months, that tells us that it probably didn't do as well as you would hope, at least in terms of a theatrical sort of framework. Right. But I think,
but you're looking for 500,000. You're looking for 500,000 new subscribers, 250,000 new
individual
subscribers.
Film basis. I mean,
in this case, they would have otherwise put this in theaters, and they would have made how much money?
Well, theaters were closed, or now they're 25%, or some theaters are just completely shut down. So I think that's the hard math on their end. You're asking, if theaters had been, you know, fully functional, what should they have gotten?
Yep.
Yeah. No. Exactly. I think. Look, I think in terms of this new movie, Soul, it's the projections were, you know, it's a Pixar film, right? So it's a family film. It's supposed to be a big holiday hit. Again, I think they have to rethink the economics for, well, how many more subs did this particular film drive versus over a period of time, as opposed to what it did in weekend 1 and weekend 2.
Fair enough. Hey, Sarah, I want to talk to you about HBO and Warner Media. You know, there's going to be more cost cutting and restructuring at that company. What do you think about the soul of the culture of that company? Is it a different company today, and does it matter?
It's definitely a different company today. I mean, anytime you're trying to merge, you know, an entertainment brand with a phone company based in Texas, you're going to have to make some concessions to that creative culture. I think why it matters here is that if you're going to be cutting people who are core to the HBO culture, the question is the programming going to be as good? Now, we've seen hits continue to come out of HBO, Succession, et cetera. And so far, they've been able to drum up some hits that I think will be good for HBO Max. My big question is actually the cuts that they're making to cable. You know that they're going to be slashing a lot around TNT, TBS. A lot of those channels, they still do some good work in terms of original production, and those shows help to fulfill HBO Max. It's not just high-profile shows. It's a few lesser shows to fill up the library. So you just have to kind of think about the economics here. Does that mean that HBO Max is going to have to try to license more programming if they're not producing their own?
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.